Don't you know, we're talking about a revolution. It sounds like a whisper. Don't you know, we're talking about a revolution. It sounds like a whisper. While they're standing in the welfare line.
When attempting to describe the average citizen's response to the federal or even state governmental affairs, the word uttered most often over the past 25 years is apathy. When the world's democracies are ranked according to their voting records, America is at the bottom with Switzerland. As recently as 1960, 62.8% of Americans of voting age had turned out to elect John F. Kennedy over Richard M. Nixon. The 60s were a time of national social unrest that resulted in social activism, and many citizens raised their voices to protest a number of issues and participated in the political process. Then something began to happen, and in 1972, voter turnout dropped to 55.2%. With some exceptions, the decline has continued. There is some dispute about the extent of the decline, but in 1996 and 2000, only about 24% of the adult population cast votes for the winning presidential candidate. A democracy whose leaders are the choice of less than a quarter of the adult population faces some hard questions. One, can a government that is of and by only a fraction of the people truly work for all the people? And is there any way that a nation of distracted denizens of the 21st century be transformed into a nation of voters? In Missoula, I found a man who is trying to aid that transformation.
You had this really cool fundraiser the other night. How did you get the idea, or why did you want to hold this fundraiser?
Hey, that wasn't one of the questions you asked me. But I can answer it. I was listening to alternative radio one time, and Molly Ivins was discussing where do we go from here? How do we make a change? And I remember one of the things that really stuck, along with all of the great advice she gave. She said, make sure you have fun. We have to have fun. It has to be fun. Al Franken, in a lot of his diatribes, also says, we can't just go back with the same stuff that they use. We have to give good information, but it's also nice to throw in some funny with that too. So he's talking about it from funny, Molly Ivins is talking about it from fun. So I think this planted the seeds, and it wasn't at that very moment that I thought, hey, this is the way to do this sort of a thing. But that just sort of grew into the idea, I think probably when I was just discussing it in general with other friends. And things lead to other things, and all of a sudden we had the idea for a George W. Bush piñata. And then the George W. Bush piñata grew into even more in-depth ideas. In the kitchen, this is called an apron. In an artist's studio, it is called a smock. Smock, 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 smock. So I guess this would be a smockumentary. You're making a mockumentary.
The Haitian and Dominican communities in the U.S. major concern.
What do you think? I think originally the idea I had was the very basic plain paper mache effigy kind of a thing, that would be sort of like a three-dimensional stick figure, and you'd almost have to convince people it was supposed to be George W. Bush by what you painted on it, because it wasn't going to look anything like him. And then, of course, bringing in the creative elements, like my friends around here, to be able to bring to the table. It grew, but I remember another key element was when I was shopping in Rock and Rudy's for things to put in this then still very hypothetical piñata. I saw this mask, the full head mask at Rock and Rudy's, and I bought it. And in fact, I even used it as my vessel to carry everything else in. I just filled the mask with the bumper stickers and stuff. And when I showed it to Jonathan, he got the idea to use the mask as a form, as a, what do you call it, a mold, and just like do a cast of it from the inside. He has more experience with that sort of thing than I do. He seemed to think it would work. It obviously did. It came out looking great. And then from there, the idea grew even more. And I said, well, we can't just have a head, you know, and if we put the body on the thing, it would be huge. So we got the idea of taking the two balloons and putting them together and almost making the two parts. One would be, at first we thought, the derriere, and we would just put a butt and a head together, and that would be symbolic enough. And then when we started to actually see what these things looked like, it took on another form yet, and it looked rather dickish. Right now we are making a plaster axe, to which we will attach a plaster head. We are making an ass face. We're not actually making a real ass face, we're making an effigy of an ass face. Patriotism. Yeah, I thought when I first saw what you wanted to talk about, I kind of got the impression that what you were really driving at was what's the motivation for this?
Yeah.
And the motivation for me is simply that I think a lot of people say, I want my country back. More specifically, what I'm saying is I want to see somebody take over the executive branch who respects rule of law, who understands laws, or at least tries to understand them. And I think John Kerry clearly is a man who not only understands them, but respects the spirit of them, and doesn't spend all of his time and energy trying to figure out what little he does understand, how to manipulate and get around it and you know, abuse it so that it can benefit him, his cronies, his political party. I think honestly that the Bush administration's number one priority is allegiance to the party and allegiance to the very, very wealthy, and how they, you know, whatever they can do, whatever it takes to hold on to power so that they can abuse that power and benefit from it. That's all they care about. They put that before the interests of the country and the interests of all the people from all walks of life within this country. I think John Kerry stands for the complete opposite of that. Is he perfect? No, nobody is. But that's clearly, if you're looking at the choice, that's the difference between those two people. And I want John Kerry in the White House. I want George Bush out of the White House.
Hey.
Let's go see the green chili, shall we?
So how long has this been cooking?
Since about
Ooh.
9:30 maybe.
Wow.
There's
Very
another one behind it.
nice. Excellent.
Bin Laden's family or whatever, like the day after 9/11 or something. God, it's just, I mean, if we're not cynical enough, that
Right.
and stuff, and they're just gorgeous. They are just gorgeous.
Yep.
Now, how do you know about this?
Because they used to only have one bathroom.
Yep. Ah. And then women started going into the bars.
Well, they used to only have one bathroom,
When
and
I
then
went there, it was still
using
the same bathroom.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Oh wow, that's
Pretty good.
But
food
it was
now.
only about it's probably only 5 feet wide or something, or I mean it was really narrow.
It wasn't big. No.
Kind of had to like guy would be peeing at the urinal and had to excuse me inch your way by him in order to get into the stall. Like literally.
Oh my, what a face! What a face! Woo!
Oh, he's got red, beady eyes.
It's a unique piece.
You know it.
Jonathan, I was wondering. I don't know. I've got these loaded with progress.
That's not gonna work. Right? That's worth what? For a buck! For a buck! Just a buck and you can whack them!
With that?
You can wear the helmet. Here you go. $1.
The helmet
And the helmet. There you go. Here's the helmet. I'll even hold your beer. One whack. One whack.
Yeah, it's on Packard's.
How much extra are the photos?
Come on, for a buck, folks. Come on. Did it feel good? It felt good. Come on, next. One buck. There you go.
What about a real stick?
And the helmet. Pony up, folks. Pony up.
How are you?
See, look.
Your brother? Looks like you.
There you go. Folks, it's not just for fun, it's because it feels good. How'd it feel? Did that feel good? It felt good. Beautiful. I got $3 in my hand.
How much to do with a pipe?
We'll get to that. What do you offer?
We're starting.
What do you offer to do?
It's a bidding process.
Whack it like you mean it.
Oh! You got dust! You got dust!
Right in the teeth, baby. Right in the teeth.
All right, now we got to auction this. We got to. All right, folks. How are we going to raise the maximum dollars here? All right, bucks for the foam. That's just for fun. That ain't the real deal. All right. Where do we get to the real deal?
The hard stick.
All right, I got.
Ducks float.
All right, I got $10. I got $10 for a shot with a stick. Who's gonna beat that? I want 15 for a shot with a stick.
Blindfolded, all right?
Blindfolded?
Oh, that's what pinatas do, right? Blindfolded.
Blindfolded.
You go out there blindfolded.
I want 15 for the first shot with a stick. Wow, that's pretty good. Come on, folks, pony up.
You want to be able to put it right in the ear.
Blindfolded.
Don't be a bat.
One.
Bend your knees a little bit.
$10 for a shot with a stick on the face right there. Smile, it's gotta go.
organized. Okay.
You're not gonna do it. There you
The
go.
one shot, if you get it in half, we'll get another $10 out of it. Oh, yes! The shit-eating grin. Look at that! That shit-eating grin is still there. Come on, $10 for this. Come on. $10 for the steak and the grin. Come on. I feel like a carnival barker here. We shouldn't have to beg for this, folks. We shouldn't have to beg.
Wait, get the helmet.
Get a camera.
Oh, yeah.
Ron, take a picture. Oh, yeah.
Put his gloves on. I got to realize it's a very skinny back. Oh, let's see.
With gloves and everything.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Clear away this direction.
Stand back.
Clear. Now, you might not want to stay there. Pick it up.
Don't miss, Greg.
Hey, Greg, if you miss, we can get another $10 out of it.
Exactly. It's a skinny back.
You get 2 tries in the air.
Oh, it was definitely a success. Yeah.
How much
we
money
raised
were-
over $500 from people who aren't exactly typically energized to do that sort of a thing, I think. So I think the fun, the spirit of the whole thing, and obviously the times themselves really sparked that kind of participation.
'Cause I'm running for my life here, out on the campaign trail, and the crowds will not forgive me if I lose. And I'd like to think I'm special, but I do know otherwise. Excuse me.
This is how much we love our country.
This would make a nice planter.
Weight's supposed to come.
Yeah?